Kayla had spent her entire life hearing only one thing about humans. They were dangerous creatures. Unpredictable. And violent. Every girl raised inside the Gyra clan's training camps learned this before she learned how to hold a blade or track footprints through the mud. Humans were a threat, something to be removed, captured, or destroyed if necessary. Their elders repeated it so often that Kayla never thought to question it. Why would she? Everyone believed it. Now, as she stood at the edge of the dense jungle moon named Threxia, Kayla felt the weight of her first real mission settle on her shoulders. She was no longer a trainee. She was a huntress. And the clan had chosen her to find the human wanderer spotted near the forest ruins. This was meant to be a simple task: hunt down a creature that was supposed to be fierce and cruel. Capture him alive if possible. If not, bring back proof. Kayla breathed deeply, letting the moist air fill her lungs. The jungle around her whispered, alive with distant clicking creatures and fluttering wings. She tightened her grip around her staff spear and stepped forward. Her silver armor plates brushed softly against the leaves as she moved with silent confidence. She felt no fear. She had trained too long and too hard for that. She felt curious to finally see the thing the elders had built so many warnings around. After half an hour of tracking, she followed a trail of crushed plants and boot-shaped prints. The marks were strange, broad, uneven, showing that the human was either injured or distracted. That made the mission easier. A distracted target was a weak target. Kayla adjusted the device on her wrist and scanned the ground. The faint energy signature of human equipment still lingered in the air. He was close. As she moved deeper into the forest, she heard something metallic clink against stone. Kayla froze behind a thick tree trunk and peered through the leaves. There he was, her target. A human, but he looked nothing like the monstrous figure from her clan's stories. Instead of a towering beast with claws, he looked ordinary. A young man with slightly messy brown hair, kneeling beside a damaged flying drone. He wore a simple survival suit and had a backpack half open beside him. His face looked tired but calm, focused on repairing the machine. Kayla narrowed her eyes. Maybe his harmless look was a trap. Humans were known for deception. According to the elders, she steadied her breath, slipped around the clearing, and positioned herself behind him. One jump and she could pin him down. She silently drew closer. Her muscles were ready, her training perfect. But she didn't attack. Not yet. Something about the human's calmness made her hesitate. He muttered softly to himself, "Come on, buddy. Don't quit on me now. Just hold together for a little longer." His voice surprised Kayla. It wasn't rough or threatening. It sounded gentle, almost friendly. She had expected growls and harsh noises. Instead, she heard concern for a broken machine. Kayla shook off the strange feeling creeping into her chest. She pushed forward with purpose and stepped into the clearing. "Do not move," she commanded. The human jerked in shock, dropping his tool. He spun around and stared at her with wide eyes. For a long moment, he seemed frozen, as if unsure whether she was real or a hallucination. "Oh, hi," he said awkwardly. "You scared me." Kayla frowned. That was not the reaction she was trained for. He should have attacked or tried to escape. Instead, he lifted both hands slowly, showing he had no weapons. "I'm Evan," he said carefully. "I'm not here to cause trouble. My drone broke, and I just need to get back to my team." Kayla kept her staff pointed at him. "You do not speak unless asked." "Oh, sorry," he replied, lowering his gaze. He looked almost embarrassed. Kayla stepped closer, observing him with a hunter's focus. She expected to see hatred or aggression in his eyes. Instead, she saw something else: confusion and kindness. The elders said humans were selfish and cruel, but the man before her seemed nothing like that. "Stand up," she ordered. Evan obeyed, slow and cautious. He was taller than she expected, but not imposing. His posture was relaxed, despite her weapon pointed at him. Kayla circled him, checking for hidden devices or traps. He didn't resist. He simply watched her carefully. Though not with fear, more like curiosity. As she walked around him, a strange pain shot up her calf. She winced. She hadn't noticed the thorn spike lodged in her leg earlier. It was deep and pulsing, with a dull sting. She tried to ignore it, but the pain made her stumble slightly. Evan noticed immediately. "You're hurt," Kayla snapped at him. "Silence." But Evan didn't listen. He took a slow step toward her and gently held out a small bottle of water. "You need this more than I do. Sit down for a second." Kayla stared at him, startled. Why was he offering help? Humans were supposed to be ruthless. They were supposed to attack when their enemy was weak. But he wasn't attacking. He wasn't even trying to escape. He was offering her water. "I said do not speak," she repeated, though her voice had lost some strength. "You're bleeding," Evan insisted softly. "At least let me get the thorn out before it gets worse." Kayla blinked. She didn't know what to do. No part of her training prepared her for a human showing concern. It felt wrong. Or maybe it felt strange, because it didn't feel wrong at all. Before she could object again, Evan crouched near her and pointed to the thorn. "May I?" Kayla hesitated. She knew she could push him away easily. She knew trusting a human was against every rule she'd been taught. But her leg throbbed painfully, and something inside her whispered that he meant no harm. She gave a stiff nod. Evan reached gently and removed the thorn with slow, careful movements. Kayla bit back a sharp breath. The relief was immediate. He rinsed the wound with water and stepped back respectfully. "There," he said. "Better?" Kayla stared at him. She didn't answer, afraid her voice might betray her confusion. Why would he help her? Why would he care? Before she could ask, the ground shook. Birds and insects scattered loudly as the jungle trembled with heavy steps. A deep growl echoed through the air. Evan turned quickly, gripping a broken rod from his drone. "What was that?" he whispered. Kayla had heard that sound before. The elders called it a tusk beast, one of the most dangerous animals on the moon. Massive, armored, unpredictable. The growl came again, louder, followed by crashing branches. Kayla raised her staff. Back away from the trees. Evan didn't move. "Is it big?" "It will crush you if you stay there." Before Evan could respond, the tusk beast burst through the foliage. Its huge tusks curved outward, dripping with sap and dirt. Its eyes glowed a furious red as it charged directly at them. Kayla leaped aside with the speed of a trained huntress. Evan wasn't fast enough. The beast barreled toward him with terrifying force. Without thinking, Kayla shouted, "Move!" But Evan didn't run. Instead, he raised the broken metal rod, holding it like a shield, and stood his ground. His face was pale, but determined. He wasn't fighting the beast, he was protecting her position behind him. Kayla's heart jumped. Why would a human defend her? She had pointed a weapon at him moments ago. She had declared herself his captor. Yet he stepped forward as if her safety mattered more than his own. The tusk beast slammed into him. Evan dodged partially, rolling aside at the last second. Kayla launched herself at the creature, striking its side. The beast roared, swung its head, and nearly knocked her off her feet. Evan scrambled up and shouted a warning. "Left side, it's weaker." Kayla struck again at the point he indicated. This time, the tusk beast stumbled, confused by their coordinated movements. Together, they forced it back until it finally retreated into the woods, leaving the clearing shaking with broken branches. Evan collapsed onto the ground, breathing hard. Kayla stood over him, stunned. He saved her. A human saved a huntress. As she stared at him, her entire belief system began to crack. Humans weren't supposed to protect others. They weren't supposed to show mercy. They weren't supposed to care, but this one did. Evan looked up at her with a tired smile. "Are you okay?" Kayla didn't answer right away. She didn't trust her own thoughts. Nothing made sense anymore. She had been trained to hunt humans. But now, looking at him this strange, gentle, brave man, Kayla felt something she had never felt on a mission before. Doubt. And that doubt changed everything. The forest was still trembling from the tusk beast's retreat when Kayla finally forced her mind to steady. She stared at Evan, who was sitting on the ground and rubbing his shoulder with a wince. The human had nearly been crushed, protecting her. That single moment replayed in Kayla's thoughts again and again, breaking apart everything she once believed. Humans were supposed to be ruthless. Humans were supposed to hurt others to survive. But Evan had put himself at risk for a stranger, an enemy, according to his world and hers. Evan tried to stand, but his legs shook a little. Kayla stepped forward automatically, catching his arm before he fell again. Evan blinked, surprised, but didn't pull away. She helped him stabilize himself. And for the first time, they stood at nearly the same height, only a few breaths apart. "You saved me," Kayla murmured, the words rough on her tongue because she wasn't used to thanking anyone. Evan gave a weak laugh. "Well, I couldn't just watch you get trampled." "You did not have to help," Kayla insisted. He shrugged gently. "But you were in danger." Kayla looked away. She wasn't sure how to respond. His answer made no logical sense. It didn't match anything she had been taught. A creature helps someone only when they expect something in return. That was the rule of survival. But Evan didn't ask for anything. He didn't demand freedom. He didn't try to negotiate. He just helped. Kayla realized the wound on her leg was bleeding again after the fight. Evan noticed too. Without hesitation, he knelt and began patching the cut using fabric from his own sleeve. His touch was careful and respectful. Kayla watched him closely, still trying to understand what his real motive could be. "You trust too easily," she said quietly. Evan shook his head. "I don't think helping someone makes me foolish." Kayla didn't answer. She didn't know how. When he finished, Evan stood up and stretched slowly, testing his shoulder. "We should move," he said, glancing at the broken trees around them. "That beast might come back, or something worse might hear the noise." Kayla nodded. "There are many creatures here. Staying is dangerous." Evan grabbed his backpack, then hesitated again. "Where are you taking me?" It was an honest question, but Kayla had no simple answer. Her original mission was to capture him, bring him home, prove herself as a huntress. But after what she had seen after he helped her twice, Kayla felt something shifting inside her. "I will escort you to the ruins," she said. "From there, we will decide." "We." Evan raised an eyebrow. Kayla almost corrected herself, but the word felt right. For now, their lives were tangled together. They walked through the lush jungle, moving through glowing vines and old stone pillars covered in moss. Evan asked a few questions where they were going, how far the ruins were, but he never pushed too much, respecting her silence. Kayla appreciated that. Most hunters she trained with always filled the air with noise and arrogance. But Evan walked quietly, observing everything, even smiling at small things like colorful insects or strange flowers. At one point, Evan stumbled on a root and nearly fell. Kayla reached out instantly, grabbing his arm. He steadied himself and gave her a grateful grin. "You have quick reflexes," he said. "You have slow feet," Kayla responded. But her tone was softer than before. Evan laughed, and Kayla felt a warmth she couldn't explain. As they moved deeper, Kayla replayed the elders' stories in her mind. Stories of humans attacking Gyra scouts, stealing their weapons, harming their young. But looking at Evan, she saw none of those traits. If humans were so dangerous, why did this one look so gentle? Why did he care about a huntress who threatened him? Her confusion grew when Evan spoke again. "My team landed on the wrong side of the moon," he said. "The jungle storms made us scatter. I was trying to fix the drone so I could signal them." Kayla listened carefully. "Your team, they are also human?" "Yes, scientists, not soldiers." Kayla frowned. That didn't match the Elder's description either. Why would humans come here? "This moon is dangerous. Because we study ecosystems," Evan explained. "We want to understand your world, not harm it." Kayla felt a strange twist in her chest. The Elders said humans traveled the galaxy like conquerors, but Evan spoke like someone who admired life, not someone who wanted to destroy it. Before she could ask more, they heard rustling from above. Two shadows dropped down from the trees, landing with perfect balance. Kayla reacted instantly, pushing Evan behind her. She raised her staff spear. 2 huntresses stood before them, armor gleaming, eyes sharp. Kayla recognized them. Lyra and Storym. Both ranked far above her in experience. They had been sent to assist her mission, but she didn't expect them to find her this quickly. Lyra smirked. Well, look what we found. You captured him alive. Impressive, Kayla. Kayla didn't lower her weapon. Something about Lyra's tone made her uneasy. Storym stepped forward, scanning Evan with cold eyes. Good. We can take him from here. You did your part. Evan stiffened, stepping closer to Kayla instinctively. Lyra noticed and narrowed her eyes. Why is he standing near you like that? She asked sharply. Kayla tightened her grip on her weapon. He is my responsibility until the mission is complete, Lyra scoffed. Your responsibility? You sound like you're protecting him. I am escorting him, Kayla corrected. That is all, but Soren's gaze hardened. Escort? That human nearly killed one of our scouts. He must be punished. Kayla blinked. He did no such thing. That's what the elders said, Lyra responded. This creature is a threat. Kayla felt something snap inside her. The same lie repeated again. Over and over. But she had seen the truth with her own eyes. Evan didn't harm anyone. He helped her. He saved her. And he showed no signs of the evil the elders claimed. No, Kayla said firmly. He is not a threat. Lyra and Storym exchanged surprised looks. Storym stepped closer, lowering her voice. Kayla, what did he do to you? Did he trick you? Humans manipulate minds. You know that. Kayla shook her head. He showed me kindness. The 2 huntresses froze. Their expressions darkened instantly. Lyra hissed. You let him influence you. You broke the code. Kayla stepped backward slightly, positioning herself more clearly in front of Evan. He did not influence me. I saw his actions. I made my own decision. Storym raised her staff spear. Then you stand in the way of the clan's orders, Evan whispered behind her. Kayla, don't fight them because of me. Kayla's voice was steady. Quiet, Evan. Kayla, please. I said quiet. Lyra shook her head slowly. Poor Kayla. The human has corrupted you. Kayla felt anger rise not at Lyra, but at the years of lies she had been fed. He has not corrupted anything. I finally see the truth. Storym lunged first, aiming to grab Evan. Kayla blocked the strike, spinning her staff and forcing Storym back. Lyra joined in instantly, circling fast. Kayla defended Evan with quick, controlled strikes. She was outnumbered but not overwhelmed. Her training was strong, and her resolve was stronger. Evan tried to move away to avoid being a burden, but Kayla grabbed his wrist and pulled him behind her. Stay close, she said, but I'm slowing you down. I said stay. Lyra jumped high, aiming at Kayla's shoulder. Kayla countered, striking her midair, knocking her off balance. Storym attacked again, and Kayla blocked her with her bracer. You are betraying your clan, Storym shouted. You are betraying the truth, Kayla answered. The fight grew intense. Kayla wasn't fighting to win, she was fighting to protect. That gave her a strength she didn't know she had. Finally, Kayla delivered a powerful strike to Storym's arm, disarming her. Lyra hesitated, glaring with disbelief. Kayla breathed hard. I will not let you take him. Storym stumbled back, clutching her arm. Lyra stepped beside her, fuming. This is not over, Lyra said. The elders will hear of your betrayal. They vanished into the trees, retreating to report what they had seen. Kayla turned to Evan, still catching her breath. You protected me again, Evan whispered. Kayla shook her head. Not again. This time, I chose to. Evan looked at her with something like gratitude, but also worry. What happens now? Kayla gazed into the dark jungle where her clan had disappeared. She knew the answer, but saying it made her chest tighten. My clan will come for us. They will not stop now. She paused, then added softly, we must leave the ruins before they arrive. Evan nodded slowly. Then I trust you. Lead the way. Kayla felt a strange warmth in her chest again. She didn't know if it was pride, fear, or something else. But she knew one thing clearly now. She wasn't hunting a human anymore. She was protecting one, and that truth would change everything. Night settled over the jungle moon like a slow-moving shadow, dimming the glowing vines and cooling the thick air. Kayla guided Evan through narrow pathways between giant roots and ancient stone blocks covered in symbols older than her clan itself. The ruins were deep enough to hide them for a while, but not forever. The Gyra clan moved quickly, and now that Lyra and Soren had seen her protect a human, they would return with reinforcements. Kayla knew she had crossed a line that could not be undone. Evan walked close beside her. He trusted her without hesitation, and that trust felt heavier than her armor. Every time he looked at her, she felt a strange mixture of pride and responsibility. She had chosen to protect him. That meant she had also chosen to stand against everything she had been taught since childhood. They reached a large stone chamber, half buried in roots. The ceiling had collapsed long ago, leaving cracks where moonlight streamed through. Kayla scanned the area carefully before allowing Evan to sit. He looked exhausted, but still alert, watching her with quiet concern. "You should rest," Evan said softly. "You've been fighting and walking non-stop." Kayla shook her head. "Resting now would be dangerous. They will come." Evan studied her face for a long moment. "Kayla, I know you risked everything for me. But you don't have to keep doing this if it puts you in danger." She stared at him sharply. "Do not say that." "But it's true," Evan insisted gently. "You could leave now. Go back to your clan. Tell them anything you want. Say I escaped." Kayla stepped closer, her voice steady. "I made my choice. I do not abandon the people I protect." Evan looked down, overwhelmed by the certainty in her tone. "Then I hope I can be worth the risk." Kayla didn't respond. She wasn't sure how to tell him that he had already proven that many times over. As they waited, Kayla explained more about the ruins. They were once a sanctuary built by an old civilization that had vanished long before either humans or Gyra arrived. The tunnels beneath the ruins stretched for miles, filled with glowing crystals and empty halls carved with strange shapes. Kayla had visited them only once as a trainee and had been warned never to go too deep. But now, they needed every advantage. "If we stay near the surface, they will find us," Kayla said. Evan nodded. "Then let's go below." They moved together down a long stone stairway. The deeper they went, the cooler the air became. The walls were covered in glowing blue lines that looked like veins of light. Evan ran his fingers along them, fascinated. "This place is beautiful," he murmured. Kayla watched him quietly. His fascination with everything, even in danger, was something she had never seen before. Her clan only valued strength and certainty. Evan valued curiosity, kindness, and observation. Those qualities made him unpredictable in a different way, one that Kayla found refreshing. As they reached a wide cavern lit by shimmering crystals, a sudden crack echoed behind them. Kayla spun instantly, pulling Evan behind a stone pillar. Footsteps approached light, fast, and disciplined. Huntresses. Kayla's heart tightened. They had found them sooner than expected. Several armored figures emerged from the stairway and spread across the cavern. Their eyes glowed faintly from their helmets, scanning every corner. Among them was Lyra, her stance firm and challenging. "Kayla." Lyra's voice echoed through the chamber. "Do not run. You cannot escape. Surrender the human, and the elders may show mercy." Kayla stepped out from behind the pillar, her staff spear raised. Evan tried to follow, but she pushed him gently back. "No," she whispered. "Stay hidden." Evan's jaw tightened. He wanted to argue, but the determination in her eyes made him stop. He trusted her again, even when the situation looked hopeless. Lyra walked forward, stopping several paces away. "I do not wish to fight you. Return with us. The human will be dealt with, and your punishment will be light." "He has done nothing wrong," Kayla replied firmly. "That is irrelevant," Lyra snapped. "He is a human. He is dangerous." Kayla shook her head. "I have seen more danger in our clan's lies than in him." Whispers rippled through the huntresses. Kayla's words had struck a nerve. Lyra pointed her weapon at Kayla. Last chance. Step aside. Kayla took a breath, steadying the storm inside her. No. Lyra signaled, and 2 huntresses lunged forward. Kayla blocked the first attack with a swift strike, sending sparks across the cavern floor. The second huntress tried to circle her, but Kayla kicked off a stone wall and pushed her back with a sharp blow. Evan peeked from behind the pillar, his heart pounding. He wished he could help her, but he knew rushing in would only expose both of them. Kayla fought with fierce precision. She didn't aim to injure, only to disable or disarm. Every movement was controlled, focused. She wasn't fighting out of rage but out of conviction. She wanted her clan to see the truth, not fear. But Lyra was stronger than the others. She charged forward, swinging her spear with force. Kayla blocked, but the impact pushed her backward across the stone floor. Lyra pressed forward again, faster than Kayla expected. You were our brightest, Lyra growled. Why throw it all away for a human? Because he showed me kindness you never did, Kayla answered. For a moment Lyra hesitated, anger flashing across her face. That single pause gave Kayla an opening. She struck Lyra's weapon aside and spun behind her, hitting the back of her knee. Lyra fell, but before Kayla could finish the move, more huntresses surrounded them. Weapons raised, Kayla stood tall, breathing hard. She could not take them all alone. Evan stepped out from behind the pillar despite Kayla's command. Stop! He shouted. Kayla's eyes widened. Evan, don't! The huntresses turned their weapons toward him. Evan raised both hands slowly. I'm not your enemy, he said, voice steady. I never meant harm. I'm just trying to reunite with my team. You are a threat by existence. One huntress said coldly. Kayla moved to stand between Evan and the weapons. If you strike him, you strike me. Silence filled the cavern. Lyra rose slowly, her expression unreadable. Then you leave us no choice. But before she could give the order, Evan spoke again, this time louder. I saved her life, he said. More than once. I could have run away when the beast attacked. I could have let her fall. But I didn't. If that makes me dangerous, then your fear is not about me. It's about losing control. The huntresses shifted uncomfortably. His words hit deeper than Kayla expected. Kayla stepped forward. Humans are not the monsters we were taught they are. I have seen the truth. Lyra's jaw tightened. She looked at her squad, then at Kayla, then at Evan. Something in her expression cracked doubt, frustration, maybe even understanding. Finally, Lyra lowered her weapon just slightly. The elders will not accept this, she warned. You are challenging centuries of tradition. Kayla nodded. Then let new traditions begin. The huntresses murmured to each other. Without unity, they could not act. Some lowered their weapons. Others backed away, confused. Lyra clenched her teeth, realizing she had lost control of the situation. This is not over, she said sharply. She turned and signaled her squad. We fall back. The huntresses retreated into the shadows of the tunnel, leaving Kayla and Evan alone again. Evan exhaled shakily. Did we just survive that? Kayla nodded. For now. But their leaders will not stop. Evan stepped closer, looking at her with deep gratitude. You saved me again. Oh, Kayla shook her head. No, we saved each other. For the first time since the mission began, Kayla allowed herself to breathe without fear. She looked at Evan, this strange, gentle human who had changed her entire belief system in a single day. What will you do now? Evan asked softly. Kayla looked toward the tunnel where her clan disappeared. I cannot return to them. They will not accept me. Then, come with me, Evan offered. My team will help you. Humans are not perfect, but we will not hurt you. Kayla stared at him, surprised. The idea of leaving her world, her past, everything she knew, it was terrifying. But standing beside Evan felt more honest than any life she had lived before. After a long moment, she nodded. I will go with you. Evan smiled, relieved. Then let's leave this moon together. They climbed back toward the surface, moving through glowing roots and quiet chambers. For the first time, Kayla did not walk as a huntress or a warrior. She walked as someone choosing her own path. At the edge of the ruins, the dawn light broke across the sky in soft shades of gold. Evan looked at Kayla. "You were trained to hunt humans," he said softly. "But now you're protecting one." Kayla allowed herself the smallest smile. "No. I am protecting the one who showed me the truth." Together, they stepped toward the rising light, leaving behind the past and walking into a new future. One where a huntress and a human stood side by side, no longer enemies, but allies.